guys, it's Kwana back again with another recap and review. Here to review for you guys Insecure Season 4, Episode 5, entitled Lowkey Moving On. I want to thank you guys for coming over here to my channel. So let's go ahead and dig into the episode. Definitely think this episode, I don't know what episode 6 is going to be like, but this is definitely the best episode so far of the season, in my opinion. I definitely would put it on par with the Coachella episode from last season, and it's definitely a mile marker because we've come full circle, because the Coachella episode is when Issa had the brainchild of the block party, and now we're here and we're at the culmination of all of her hard work. And if we view the show as almost taking place in real time, this has been at least a year, if not 18 months worth of work. And so it's very apropos that we are seeing this now. So this is the block party episode. We not only get a lot of kind of like loose ends from the last couple of episodes kind of popping up, but we get a lot of returning faves to the show. So once again, we see Thug Yoda show up, which I was very pleased about. We finally get an interaction between Issa and Condola. And the names that some people over on Black Twitter and on Facebook are coming out with for Condola has my side hurting. And I feel so bad because the actress herself is a lovely woman and she is beautiful. And yet people are shading Condola hard, calling her Canola old, calling her, Candida, all kinds of craziness. So, yeah. So the episode really kind of starts where we see the beginning of season 4 with Issa at home, and it's the night of the block party. But actually, I think that episode must have been about a month before, and I can't really remember what, or the night of the block party, like the follow up. So I'm guessing she goes home and she calls Nathan and kind of like vents to him, because we see in episode 1 the images of like the aftermath of the block party, in which we kind of all thought something bad was going to happen, and something bad does happen, but it's not as big as I thought. Like, did someone get shot? Was it a bust? And we find out that she has been in contact with Nathan, who we haven't seen since the season finale from season 3. And so she thanks him for a favor, and I had to watch it twice to pick up on what she was saying, like, thank you for doing me that favor. And so this is not the first time that they've spoken. But when I saw it the first time, I thought, oh, snap, she's talking to Nathan like the night before the block party. This is the first time that they've spoken since they parted ways in season 3, but it's not. So it jumps from Issa talking to Nathan, and it goes over to Molly and Andrew. Molly is getting ready for the block party, and she is shading Issa hard. She's like, I don't want to go. She's pulling out outfits, and he's like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a block party. And she's coming up with all kinds of reasons why she doesn't want to go. And you can kind of see that he's trying to be like supportive boyfriend, but also he's just like, why are you kind of crapping on your girlfriend? He doesn't come out and say it, but I completely was reading into his mind and saying that that's what he was thinking. He convinces her that they're going to go ahead and go. He gives her a chance to back out of it, and she, folds and says, "No, I got to go because it's for Issa." And so they go. We see Issa at the block party, getting things organized, getting things set up. It's so good to see her in boss mode. This is a good look on Issa. Of course, we know that this is reflective of her personality in real life and the glow up that she has had over the past 6 or 7 years. But it was good to see that come to fruition on the show. She's got an intern working for her. They're managing things, they're organizing things, and this is a very well put together event, if I must say so myself. And I've been to some events that did not look as nicely put together as this block party. So I was really excited to see this moment. At the beginning, before the block party really takes off, we finally find out that Condola is there. She and Lawrence have broken up. And it's kind of a weird exchange, because I'm glad to see Issa taking ownership and coming out and asking her, like, hey, what's going on? You've been ghosting me. And having a voice to speak up for herself, because we know Issa very rarely speaks up for herself. And she certainly has had trouble doing that with Molly recently. And so it was nice to see her do that with her relationship with Condola. Of course, it makes sense that she's able to do this because they don't really know each other like that. But it is sad because I like the relationship that she had with Condola, and I like that she and Lawrence have kind of gotten to this place where, you know, it may come off as flirtations, but it's really just going back to what she said in season 3, where she's like, I love him, but I'm able to move on from him. You know, she had a couple of backsliding moments here and there in the season where she kind of made statements about like how it's kind of strange because Condola gets the grown up mature Lawrence and she had to deal with like the work in progress. But I think she genuinely is happy without Lawrence. And I think that they have found this nice balance of kind of having a genuine friendship where they're in the same friend groups so they can be around each other and it not be awkward because they have a shared history. So anyway, Condola's like, yeah, I broke up with Lawrence and that's kind of why I've been ghosting you, which is frustrating, but we all know that we in our minds would like to be the mature individuals to say that we would not handle it the same way, but I think most of us would probably handle it similarly because people are very awkward, and Condola in this moment is a very insecure, awkward person, and she's taking it out on her relationship with Issa. But it's kind of sad because she met Issa, became friends with Issa prior to knowing about Lawrence, and I went back and looked at some episodes from season 3, and it definitely seems like she got to know Issa before. The season finale episode where she and Issa are meeting to kind of plan the event and get help with the event, it's her second date with Lawrence. So they've definitely kind of had some communication and spoken prior to the Lawrence situation. So it's sad to see this go by the wayside, and I don't think that it's going to fix because I think that Condola is a woman who knows her mind, and I'm going to trust when she says she doesn't want a long-term relationship, she doesn't want to get married again or anything like that. I'm going to trust and say that she's a grown woman and she should be saying what she believes in her relationship, and Lawrence doesn't want that. He wants the wife, the kids, the successful black life that he has envisioned in his mind. So I think that we won't really see Condola again unless it's just to tie up some loose ends at the end. But it was good to kind of get closure on that and to see Issa successfully navigate that relationship. Moving on from Condola, I was so happy to get Kelly and Tiffany and Amal in this episode. Amal and Kelly are my faves. I love them when the banter that they have together. I love the banter that he has with Issa. And so it was so good to get them to get those moments of laughter. Kelly over here with that fake British accent, which I love considering that Andrew he's either British or Australian and he is putting on an American accent. So I loved the play on that. I thought that that was a very interesting dynamic, and it was just so funny seeing her portray this character, and yet she didn't even do any research, didn't figure out what her lies were. Like, she can't keep her lies straight to save her life. So I thought that was hilarious. Um, I'm really interested. I keep hoping that they give us more and more and more Kelly and Tiffany. I'm not a big Amanda Seales fan. I don't love her, but I enjoy her as Tiffany because I do feel like it's very different from the persona that she has when she's on The Real or when she's doing interviews. And so I like that she, you know, is a certain type of black woman that is very opposite of the type of black woman that she portrays in her life because we're not a monolith. And it's good to see her kind of navigate these stages of having a child where now she kind of is seemingly going through like a postpartum depression, and it'll be interesting to see if they actually like flesh that out and talk about it and not just like give us little nuggets of it, but actually like do something with it. Maybe her friends have to like shake her out of it. Maybe even Kelly has to like I think we're going to get a little tease of that because they showed us a little tease of that in the promo, but I hopefully we'll get that coming forward. So we get moving on from Kelly and Tiffany and even Amal. Molly and Andrew show up, and it is hella awkward between Molly and Issa. The event is seemingly a success, and Molly is begrudgingly giving Issa her props. And I hate this about Molly's character, but she never wants to apologize for when she has messed up. And I thought back to season 1, and of course, a lot of time has passed between season 3, season finale, and episode 4, season finale. But I think I said season 1. I meant season 4, episode 1. But if we remember that Molly was the one who dismissed Nathan in the season finale when he showed up to apologize, and while I think we can all agree that it's good that she wanted to protect her friend, we all were able to see through the communication that he had with Issa that there's definitely like some potential possible mental issues that Nathan has. And I don't think they're maybe extreme, but I think he definitely is dealing with some depression. Now, I'm trying to diagnose anybody. Nobody should be trying to like diagnose anybody. But I think we all can agree that they were hinting that he had that, because he said several times that he doesn't like people. Like, he even mentioned it in the episode 6, I think it was, like, or after the episode after the Coachella episode, and he was laying in bed with her and he was getting feelings for her, and he said, I don't really like people. And he was saying, how does he know that it's real? So he was giving us hints that there were things going on. And I don't know that she ever really apologized for how she handled that situation. And she was messy as all get out last season with how she did Torian, how she did Issa. She was messy and she never apologizes. And so for her to I digress, she never apologized. I'm going to bring that up later. So she's kind of like shady props given to Issa. And she even says to, Andrew, while they're sitting there listening to the music, like, oh, this is like, they're surprised that it's so good. And Andrew has to tell her, this kind of event is crazy hard to do, especially on your own without really any help. And so he has to really tell her, like, hey, you just don't understand like how difficult this really can be. And so then later on, they're wobbling, they're having a good old time. The vibe of the event is like, I was like, dang, I wish I was here. And it's such a nice juxtaposition. And I think definitely something that she was trying to point out with like the Coachella event, because although they are bringing these Black artists now to Coachella is still very much a white event. Now, I don't know anything about Coachella other than Baychella. That's the only thing I know. I've never watched Coachella a day in my life except for when Beyonce was in it. But the vibe was just so lit at this event. And so I was like, oh, let me get up and do my little wobble. Wobble with me. Hey, but they're wobbling. And so then Molly has to get Issa to come and wobble. And she's like smiling at her. She does that thing that Molly does, where she's like trying to smooth things over and we're just going to jump into having a good time and everything's going to be fine and we're going to squash everything without saying words. And you can't do that for every mistake. This is not like whatever the vase was from season 3, where Molly talks about when Issa went to stay with her in 2005, and she was like, you broke my vase. And she was like, it was broke when I got there. That's a vase, that's like, if at best, if it was real, a couple of $100s. But y'all have had some real wrong stuff between the two of y'all, and you can't just fix that with a wobble. And I think that is why she reacted the way she does later on in the evening. So rest of the evening goes on, and we find out Issa's headliner is Vince Staples, and he's going to come out there and perform. And so they are really doing it. They got like a backstage green room VIP section. I mean, she really did the event nice. Of course, we know that that's because of the show, but if that was something real, that would have been like amazing event. So at the end of the night, everything goes well. I mean, everything goes well. This should be like, Issa should be getting just all of the applause. She should just be feeling good about herself. Something in her life has finally gone right from like beginning to end. And Andrew, Vince Staples' manager, goes up and daps up Andrew. And it's like, yo, thank you for the hookup. This was a lit event. And Issa finds out that Nathan talked to Andrew and got Andrew to make the connect to get Vince Staples out, which wasn't Okay, I'm not going to give Issa a 100% pass. I'm going to give her like an 80% pass because one, she knew Nathan first, and Nathan is friends with Andrew. Molly met Andrew through Nathan. So, in one sense, especially being that Molly and Andrew are still in a they're in a relationship, but it's not it doesn't even feel like it's in like the oh we might be like seriously like getting toward like a marriage kind of commitment situation. And so the fact that, Molly, Issa reached out to Molly, Molly didn't want to get Andrew involved because it was going to put her in a predicament, which is what she said. She didn't say just in general. She said, you're going to put me in a position and I'm not trying to cross those lines. Okay, cool. I'm not going to go through you because I need this connection. I'm going to go through the person that I met this guy through. I met him through Nathan. So I think she was kind of within her right to call the person who that's Andrew's roommate. Like they were staying together. So um, I think where Molly had a little bit of thing like Risa should have contacted her out of respect and just said, hey, well, listen, if you're not willing to do this, I'm going to contact Nathan and ask him to hook it up. But I also think she wasn't trying to do that out the gate. Like, it wasn't like she just jumped straight from Molly to Nathan. We all saw her go through the process, like trying to find other connections. And Andrew was cool with it. And Andrew tried to like tell Molly to chill. So for her to like really ruin Issa's big night and get up in her face, yeah, that's one of the moments where you swallow down your pride and your feelings and you say, Andrew, take me home, and you bounce, and then you call her up in the morning and you say that ish was shady. So I do think that Molly was more in the wrong for disrespecting Issa at her events, especially being that Andrew was chill with it. She can have her feelings about it, and she's not completely wrong in her feelings, but I think she is wrong in that she is having all these thoughts and opinions and feelings about Andrew, and she's not really dealing with it in a healthy way. And she's been taking all of this out on Issa and really judging Issa harshly for stuff that she has done just as shady in the past. And she's expecting Issa to be on the same level as she is. And really, Issa's not been doing anything trashy or dirty this whole time. But because it's not the way that Molly would want it to be, she's judging her as being grimy. Because let's face it, Andrew tried to call her. Now, he was joking, but they were calling each other on the grimy mess that they were doing back in season 3 when they met for their first date. And Issa really hasn't been on a big grimy tip. I mean, yes, TSA Bay, that was a little ickish, but she really hasn't been on a whole grimy type of situation for this entire season. It really has been, she has really been trying to mature. And Molly can't not, I think there's something true about the fact that sometimes people who grow with you and grow up knowing you and grow up seeing your mess, they can't ever erase the mess that they have seen you with. And I think that's what's going on with Molly and Issa's. Molly can't let go of the mess that she views Issa as. And because she reached a certain status level before Issa, she views her mess as being better mess than Issa's mess. And it really rubs her the wrong way when Issa calls her out on her mess that she does, because Molly has been just as messy. Molly was disrespecting Issa back in season 1, after the whole Daniel situation, but yet she was with Dro, and he was married with a baby on the way apparently. Like, they both are messy people. And so they both have to get some forgiveness going on and let go of all of that. So my verdict is I'm Team Issa right now because I think Molly should have saved the drama for a better situation. And it throws back to the fact that it was her birthday, when they met, when they saw Condola at the Last Dragon Cemetery showing, and it was her birthday, and she dismissed Nathan trying to give her a drama-free 30th, right? But then she brought it up that night. She didn't have to bring it up that night while they were chilling. She could have waited and done it at a different time. Really, she overstepped her bounds, but she could have waited, but she chose to bring it up. So the same thing's happening here. Drama-free, beautiful event. She could have let it go. She could have waited till the next day, but she chose not to. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next episode. The promo looks really good. I think we're going to get some stuff with the Kelly and Tiffany situations. Um, how do I feel about Issa and Molly? I don't know that I mean, the mature woman in me says, of course, I need to be rooting for them to become friends and for them to find healing and for them to talk their issues out. But I don't want to see it be a one sided event. I don't want it to be something where Issa has to apologize, as she often does, and Molly never has to own up to her crap and she just gets to move on. I hope that both of them have to be called to task and really deal with their issues with each other. Molly more so than Issa, because Molly is petty. She petty AF, okay? All right. That is my verdict for this evening. I hope that you guys enjoyed the episode. I think it was definitely the best one so far of the season. What you guys think? Do you guys think that Molly was wrong? Was Issa wrong? Are y'all glad that Nathan is back? A lot of people in the discussion groups were saying that they really wanted Daniel to come. And at first, I was like, oh yeah, Daniel would be like a cute little throwback. But being how that went back and watched season 3, I'm really glad that Nathan came back, because I think that I hope there's a conversation that they have about maybe not dismissing people who have those kinds of issues, like maybe helping them to get the help that they need, because Nathan is basically a good guy, and we don't know too many red flags other than the ghosting situation. So it'll be interesting if we got a chance to see um, them get back together and how that would work out, because he really believed in her, and that she said he was the first person who makes her feel like she's not a f up. So it would be good to see her get that confidence back. But yeah, sometimes people are in your life for a season. Sometimes you gotta let them go. I don't know. Maybe it'll be time for her to let Nathan go, but maybe it'll be time for her to let Molly go. All right, guys. So let me know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion, this little recap, the thoughts that were going on in my head. Please talk to me down in the comments. Please give me a like, and please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys hopefully next week if I can find another free trial for HBO. All right, guys. Toodles.